All right. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? May I have your attention, please? Can we get everybody in their seats? Ladies and gentlemen, this show is scheduled to last 7 hours tonight, so I want to get things moving. You laugh. We're hoping for a 1 a.m. departure time tonight. No. And to be honest, I want to talk about that. This is a fabulous show. As you can see, this room is packed. We've got a lot of great people to honor tonight, so I ask for your just consideration as people are on the stage and watching videos, because everybody here tonight has earned your attention. They have worked hard for this big moment, and this is a huge night tonight for a lot of people, so we want to celebrate that. Everybody, welcome to Tribute of Champions. My name is Chris Egan from King 5 TV. I got the call last night from my older brother Mike. Says, I got 4 tickets to the Mariners in the owner's suite. You want to come? And I said, why do I need to be in the owner's suite when I have a front row seat to some of the greatest athletes in Pierce County history right here? Yes, right here. I mean, the chicken wings would have been nice, but we move on. This is a night to celebrate sports. And I shared this story at the WIAA Hall of Fame luncheon last week. Sometimes through the year, I went to Paris, 27 days there interviewing gold medal athletes. I've sat down this year with Marshawn Lynch, Gary Payton, Earl Thomas, all the Mariners, all the Kraken players. And sometimes I forget about sports and why sports is so special. 2 weeks ago, I sat down with a young lady by the name of Sierra Inovejas. And Sierra loves to play softball. And this is why I love sharing this, because it opened my eyes a little bit listening to her story, why sports is so special to so many people. And Sierra grew up playing select softball, got to Redmond High School, tried out for the team there, made the team, and then started battling anxiety and depression, quit there, continued to play select softball, made the Edmonds Junior College team, played her freshman year there, continued to battle with anxiety, depression, went through some suicidal thoughts. Gets to her sophomore year, she says this is just too much. She quits. Then she gets addicted to drugs for 3 to 4 years, and it's just rock bottom. Sierra then, when you think it couldn't get any worse, is no longer playing the sport she loves. She's battling drugs, and then she starts losing vision in her right eye. Then she starts losing vision in her left eye, and then she becomes totally blind. Sierra goes all around Washington. Eye doctors can't tell her what's wrong with her. Her mom panics, takes her to Stanford University. They get there, full CAT scan, MRI, everything. Doctors come out and say, we operate in the morning. Sierra had a brain tumor the size of a lemon right in the front. Doctors say it had been growing for 10 years, causing the depression, the anxiety, which led to the drugs, which took her away from her favorite sport, softball. She's now 28. 7 years after she last played softball for Edmonds College. They operate the next day. Tumor goes out. She wakes up. She can see. She can see everything. Anxiety, gone. Depression, gone. She gets rid of the drug addiction. Then all of a sudden she's looking around, it's like, I think you're my boyfriend. Are you my mom? 12 years of her memories taken out of her brain. She did remember, though, she loved softball. She loved sports. She loved to play. So she also remembered she had 1 year of eligibility left at Edmonds. So they call Edmonds College. And how about the wonderful world of sports? The coach now at Edmonds is a young lady she used to play select softball with when she was 12, 13, and 14. She calls the coach, says, can I try out? Coach says, I'll see you tomorrow on the practice field. Sierra not only got out there on the practice field, she made the team. She's the starting left fielder. For the first time ever, Edmonds won their conference. She texts me tonight saying we're getting ready for the playoffs tomorrow, and she's so excited just to be playing the game of softball again. She looks on that field and she just smells the grass and smiles every day. And that's what we're here tonight to do, is to celebrate sports and history and memory in this wonderful world of sports that we have all been part of. So remember Sierra's story as we celebrate some of these great athletes tonight. And I want to thank you to the TAC for allowing us to have nights like this where we can honor some greats of the past. So big hand of applause to everybody here tonight. We also can't thank enough the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum, the TAC, for their continued support in recognizing the athletic excellence throughout the county. Well, hard to believe, it was 10 years ago we were getting ready for a U.S. Open at Chambers Bay. 2025 is the 10th anniversary of the championship, and Pierce County is hosting a celebration at the golf course on Saturday, June 7th. It is open to the public, and you can even have your photo taken with the tournament trophy. You can check the Chambers Bay website for details. All righty. One of my favorites of all time, and I didn't have a chance to really give her a big hug earlier because I was trying to figure out the audio, is Susan Westring. And at this time, I'd love to welcome Susan and Hadley Linderman, the great-granddaughter of Coach Frosty Westring. Hadley is a freshman at Cascade Christian, where she played on the volleyball team. Tonight, Susan and Hadley will be singing the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the singing of the national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red light, both bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I think a yellow station wagon with the license plate E-Mall just stopped in heaven and yelled out of the way. Well done, well done. And before we give a shout out to our autograph guest, we want to bring to the stage Bill Ralston, former Tacoma Twins infielder and longtime chapel leader. He will join us for a prayer. Yeah?
It's an honor for me to be invited to do the invocation here and be part of all the award winners tonight. Really special. Would you join me in a word of prayer? Father, thank you for all those who plan an event like this. We thank you for the servers. Thank you for the volunteers. Thank you for Mark Blau, who's put in countless hours to prepare for this. Lord, thank you for the award winners and the skills and the talents that you've given them and blessed them with. Thank you for the discipline, the hard work they put in to achieve what they have achieved. Father, Lord Jesus, we invite you just to be in this room with us tonight. And we thank you for your presence. And I'd like to just give a blessing to the award winners in the name of our Creator God. Father, I would just pray that you'd bless each of these award winners with continued generosity in their lives, with a growth in their faith life, Lord, and just bring them added health and peace in their lives as they continue to live their lives. Father, thank you for your honoring presence here. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And Bill said a big thanks also to Mark Blau. I know Pope Leo has the Pope Mobile. Maybe we need the Mark Blau Mobile because what he has done to put this night together is absolutely amazing. I was at an event where I learned the WIAA has 13 full-time members that take care of over 265 student athletes. We have Mark Blau, who has just been working tirelessly on this night to get all these athletes together. So a big round of applause to Mark Blau, everybody. And I know Mark was big on the Playgrounds to Pros books. They were out front, and we had some special appearances tonight. It was like the paparazzi out there. We want to thank those that were signing autographs tonight. Suzanne Vick was out there. Kay Rue, Michelle Miller, Phil Carter. You can cheer them on, yeah. Jumpin' Joey Waters was out there. Leo Randolph, Kay Hallgreff, and how about a nice round of applause for our Tacoma Pierce County Hall of Famers, all right? And speaking of Kay, obviously Kay's an amazing athlete. I think she won a couple gold medals, which was absolutely amazing. She also had a pretty good coach back in the day, Dick Hanula. And Coach Hanula is now 96 years of age. And Coach Hanula, I've been told, he's here tonight. Coach Hanula's here tonight. Coach, Coach coming out there. There he is. Way in the back. Big round of applause for Coach. He wanted to be here to say hi to Kay, all the Hall of Famers, but hang on, we're not done. We have another Tacoma native who flourished under the guidance of Dick Hanula and Wally Streeter. His name was Chuck Richards. He became a 3-time high school All-American, 6-time state champion. I repeat, 6-time state champion while attending Stadium High School. Chuck drove up tonight from Beaverton, Oregon, because he wanted to be here with Dick and Kay, and congratulate all the Hall of Fame inductees. He is in the back as well. Stand on up and take a bow. Pretty awesome stuff. All right. This room filled with so much talent, so much love, but without sponsors, these nights do not happen. I'd love to acknowledge our title sponsor tonight, Conley Law Offices, great supporters of many wonderful causes in our community. We always love new sponsors, and we want to welcome in a few new sponsors. How about Farm 12 in beautiful Puyallup? CEO Krista Linden is here. PCVA Law and co-founding partner Daryl Cochran and longtime sponsor Metro Parks Tacoma, now Parks Tacoma. Rush Companies. And of course, a big thank you to all of our longtime sponsors whose logos are displayed. Your continued support is absolutely amazing. And finally, to our host organization, the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum, established in 1994, just turned 30 years of age this past fall. Check out their website for some fascinating features, which you can also read about on page 10 of your program. But more important is that we need this community to help us find a place to build a home of our own, to borrow a familiar phrase. There's an excellent article on page 12 that talks about this need to find a home, and we need this community to step up and help ensure that this becomes a reality soon before we lose all these treasured artifacts. I think I've seen 18 different pickleball venues go up in the last 2 years. How can we not get one Tacoma Sports Museum to come up? We got to work hard. We got to put our brains together and make this happen pretty soon. We need a Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum ASAP. All right, our other host is the Tacoma Athletic Commission, which is still going strong, now in its 82nd year. There's a separate event coming up in June called the Tom Names Salute to Sports that will award $50,000 in scholarships to this year's high school athletes. The Golden Gloves and the Doug MacArthur Golf Classic on July 22nd are among the other special programs offered annually as well. The TAC is absolutely amazing. I'm luckily a parent of a TAC winner, Madison Egan and Austin Egan, and I'm happy to report Maddie Egan actually married another winner, Zach Paulson, son of Suzanne Vick. They got married. They live in San Diego. Zach had probably the greatest year of basketball he's ever had in his life, and he's not done playing yet. He may play a little professional basketball. So it's good to see some of these former TAC kids doing good in the world out there right now. By the way, is Suzanne here? Suzanne, raise your hand. Did she leave already? She's probably doing her athletic director needs. Well, I can say this then. It was really tough as a Puyallup Viking alumni and somebody that cheered on the Rogers Rams to pay so much money for a wedding where we had so many Curtis Vikings at the wedding. That was not easy to do. All right. TAC, by the way, they've been around since 1944, and we'd like to take a moment to say thanks to all the TAC presidents for their commitment to this organization and the community. On page 9 of your program, you will find a list of all the TAC presidents over the years, and those with an asterisk by their names are present this evening. So, folks, please stand up right now. We want to thank you for your service. If you are a former TAC president, please stand right now. All right, I'm not a huge fan waking up on Sunday morning and clicking on Facebook and seeing, one of my neighbors talk about little Billy's baseball team beat another team 88-0, and little Billy had 8 home runs, and she's just bragging about this on Facebook. But I do think everybody in this room does need to be pumped up on social media because you've earned it. You're not little Billy. I mean, you've put your time in. You've had some great success. You've done great in the community. So with that in mind, don't be shy tonight. Social media is a great way to share what is happening in the community, and tonight's function is a perfect example. At the bottom of page 37, you'll find several hashtags and links that can be used for this purpose. So please take a moment. Take some pictures of your friends. Take a picture if your friend's getting honored tonight, and post those pictures, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. We want to let King County, Snohomish County, Thurston County know what is the #1 county in the great state of Washington? Oh, is table A3 the only one that knows the answer to this question? Well done, A3. Everybody else I'm ashamed of right now. What is the greatest county in the great state of Washington right now? There we go. Thank you. We need to brag up this county, all right? Tired of hearing about King and Snohomish and Thurston. All right, let's fire up Pierce County. All right. To keep this program moving, we are going to do our best as our award recipients are introduced. If you wish to get more in-depth information about their accomplishments, simply follow along in your souvenir program. Once again, we're going to move through as fast as we can, but we also want to take time and honor these great athletes tonight. And I've even said this many times in my life. I went to a funeral once for my favorite coach of all time. That was Mike Benson at PLU. The funeral lasted 6 hours. We're not going to go that long tonight. But in this day, I still remember that to this day. The stories that we shared as we talked about Coach Benson and the legacy he left and all the lives he touched. So just let's sit back and enjoy and really celebrate everybody because you guys deserve it tonight. All right. If you go to page 7 in your program, you can read about our local sports writers that put all these incredible stories together. I'd like to publicly acknowledge and thank them. Todd Millis is in the house. Let's give a big round of applause for Todd, who's here. Maybe the best sports information director of all time. He worked at PLU. Nick Dawson has been busy working on a lot of this stuff. Nick, thank you. And once again, we can't thank enough the Encyclopedia of Pierce County, Mark Blau. All right. And Mark deserves more than that. Come on, let's fire it up. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get fired up, all right? We're not working. We're not in the backyard reading. We're not putting bark out or anything. Let's get some energy going, all right? If you got a shotgun, a Red Bull, do what you got to do. This is a fun night. We're not working. We're not doing the stock market. Let's go. Let's get fired up, all right? Let's get pumped. This is a night to party and celebrate. With that in mind, Joanne, let's get this party started, and let's meet our Distinguished Achievement Award recipients. Sit back and
To
enjoy.
make it possible for athletes and teams to compete, an abundance of support is required from coaches, officials, families, and sponsors. Here we recognize many of these dedicated individuals who add to the fabric of the Pierce County sports community. This video provides brief coverage of honorees. For more details about each, you can also see the complete bios in the event program. We kick off the Distinguished Achievement Awards with recipients of the Connolly Law Office's Excellence in Officiating Award, and we extend a special thanks to Jack Connolly and his firm as the title sponsor of the Tribute to Champions. This year's recognized officials are Dan Graves, Pierce County Umpires Association. Dan has umpired youth, high school, and college baseball for 45 years and trained over 100 new umpires. Darren Barr, Tacoma Basketball Officials Association. Darren has 25 years of experience, including several WIAA state championship games. Keon Edwards, Western Washington Football Officials Association. Keon has been a standout official since 2013 and dedicates significant time to training apprentice officials as well. Clarence Dean, Western Washington Softball Umpires Association. It's been 55 years since Clarence started officiating while in the military. There is much to celebrate about his outstanding career, including his 90th birthday 2 days from now. J.J. Snyder, Pierce County Soccer Referees Association. J.J. is one of the most experienced soccer referees in the state, having worked games since the 1980s from high school and collegiate championship matches to professional indoor soccer. Rocky Zlock, Tacoma Pierce County Volleyball Officials Board. She has been a referee, line judge, and scorer for high school and college matches for 14 years. Stephen Ryder, Western Washington Wrestling Officials Association. A former Matt Classic participant from Sumner High School, Steve has been a referee since 2008. Congratulations, officials. All the local officials associations seek new members. Reach out today and you could play an important role in local amateur sports. Now we move on to the first Family of Sports Award, this year honoring the Lindens. John Linden, one of the best basketball players in Fife High history, met his wife Krista in college and quickly learned of her athletic talents in swimming, basketball, and tennis. As it turned out, however, their kids took them in a different direction. Krista had two sisters who played NCAA Division I volleyball, and it was their influence that captured the attention of John and Krista's 7 daughters. The series of sisters means the Lindens have participated in the Puget Sound Volleyball Club for 17 consecutive years. Laura went to state all 4 years at Fife High School. She was followed by Eva, Annika, Elsa, Clara, Mia, and Sophia. John and Krista commented that what sports have taught our kids is priceless, truly. We are grateful for all the coaches, all the teammates, and all the parents who have poured into our kids over the years. The girls have learned how to be a teammate, they've learned how to be respectful to coaches and referees, and they've learned how to win and to lose graciously. All these skills have been so important as they leave their sport and carry on in the world as contributors and team players. An extensive article in the event program shares much more detail about the Linden family.
I'm John.
And I'm Krista.
Like most, our family's story began because two people met and fell in love. Our first encounter happened, I guess, because of sports. John and I met in college. I was a freshman and he was a junior. It was 6 o'clock in the morning and John was working in the weight room. When I walked in and asked him, How do I lift weights and not get bigger muscles in my arms? I guess that made an impression. I had been a competitive swimmer in high school. John had been a quarterback and played basketball for Fife High School, where he still holds records. John went on to play basketball and football in college. We married in 1993, and we have 7 daughters. When the oldest girls were young, John tried really hard to make them basketball players. That is, until my sisters, who played volleyball at University of Kansas and University of Kentucky, got their hands on the girls. After a few years of setting balls to them and coaching their rage teams, Jan Kirk called. Jan asked our older girls to try out for Puget Sound Volleyball Club. And since then, this club sport has taken our money and our time for 17 consecutive years. And when it's all said and done, we will have 20 years invested in club volleyball. The high level of play and competition that our girls have committed to over so many years has taught them very valuable life lessons. Lessons that could be hard to learn outside of rigorous competition. They've learned to manage their time, be team players, to win well, and to adjust and recover from losses quickly. They've learned the power of the mind and pride in hard work and discipline. We've loved how our family has been able to come together to support the girls in their sports. And we are grateful for the many coaches who have poured into our kids and the refs who keep the game in check. The money, the time, the laundry, the meals, the drives home from long tournaments, the traveling, and dragging younger siblings to yet another weekend in the gym, we honestly wouldn't trade it for anything. We still have a few more years of watching our kids play volleyball, and then we will start all over with our grandkids playing sports. Those sports have been a big part of our family life. We've tried hard not to place too much of our identity in a sport, but rather in the character built, the friendships made, and learning to balance sports with the most important things in life. Thank you to the Tacoma Athletic Commission for recognizing a family's commitment to helping kids play sports.
The impact of coaches goes beyond teaching athletic skills to also influence the life skills of young people. Our Excellence in Coaching Award is named for Hall of Famer in the game of life, Frosty Westring. This year's recognized coaches are University of Puget Sound volleyball coach Mark Massey and Puyallup High gymnastics coach Dorinda Carpenter. Massey has led the Loggers since 1996. His college head coaching resume goes back to 1980 at Syracuse University. Mark has the 5th most career wins of any NCAA Division III coach and is closing in on the top 20 for all NCAA divisions. He coached UPS to the NCAA Elite 8 in 2000, 2007, and 2012. 19 Loggers have earned All-American recognition since playing for Massey.
Hi, this is Mark Massey, and I want to thank the Tacoma Athletic Commission and the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum for the Frosty Westring Excellence in Coaching Award. It is a bit ironic since Frosty built his legacy at our mortal enemy just across town, Pacific Lutheran. But on the other hand, I now get to join my coaching nemesis and friend, Kevin Aoki, who was inducted in 2016, so it's all good. 4 quick special shout outs. First of all, to the hundreds of coaches across America that I borrowed ideas from to help elevate my own coaching. Second, to Mark Blau, who's always been a role model for professionalism in action in the Tacoma area. Third, to my wife, Susan. Every coach needs a partner who will still hug and love them after they've lost a match in ways nobody could ever imagine. And finally, thank you to the universe for paying me for my entire adult life to do exactly what I wanted to do and exactly the environment I wanted to be in around exactly the kind of people I wanted to be around. And young coaches out there, keep at it.
From spikes and digs to vaults and beam, we also recognize Dorinda Carpenter, Puyallup High School gymnastics coach since 2001. Dorinda coached two-time WIAA state all-around champion Riley Anderson, as well as 6 other state champions in individual events. Her Vikings teams placed in the top 4 at state each year from 2007 through 2010. In 2009, she was the State Coaches Association Coach of the Year. She also has coached at the elite club level of Puget Sound Gymnastics.
First, I want to say it's an honor and I'm grateful to be nominated for this award. I've spent most of my life involved with gymnastics, either as a gymnast or as a coach. When thinking back to my first coaching job in 1989, some of the memories that have brought me joy would probably be that athlete, no matter what level, when they learn a new skill or stick a beam routine, or just being part of a team, watching the girls learn to support and respect each other and seeing friendships made that last long after high school. When it comes to thanking people, whether several people I could think, first I probably would start with the athletes that have taught me to become a better coach. I would also like to thank coaches I have worked with and all the support I have received from my family and friends throughout the years. Again, I am very grateful for this award and I thank you.
Now we shift to a cherished award named in honor of one of our area's greatest ambassadors and administrators, the Doug MacArthur Lifetime Achievement Award. This year, the MacArthur Award goes to Margaret McCormick and Jack Conley. Margaret McCormick's contributions to community athletics go back to the 1950s. She earned a Babe Ruth Sportsmanship Award when she was a cheerleader for a struggling high school team in Medford, Oregon. Later, a Parks and Recreation degree from the University of Oregon set her on a path of involvement in community recreation that lasted decades. She came to Tacoma's Metro Parks in 1984 and retired 3 times, always finding herself drawn back to engaging in community recreation. She also had stints as the Tacoma Rainiers Community Fund Director and season ticket salesperson, and as a sales manager for the Tacoma SaberCats hockey team. Margaret also worked events at the Tacoma Dome for the 1990 Goodwill Games, has held Seattle Seahawks season tickets since the start of the franchise, and enjoyed a lot of time on the Cascade ski slopes. A lifetime of achievement indeed.
Congratulations to all you young athletes, your parents and coaches. It is truly an honor to share this event with you. My own somewhat dismal athletic career has netted me no such accolades. Mostly I have a drawer full of participant ribbons. I'll bet you young champions don't know that when you're dead last, the ribbon is beige. I am honored and humbled to receive the Doug MacArthur Lifetime Achievement Award, especially since Doug was such an influential commissioner for the Park District. This award is shared with the many professional and talented people I've worked with through the years because of their dedication to the community and their dedication to the profession. We have made Tacoma a city within a park.
Joining Margaret as a recipient of the MacArthur Award is Jack Conley. Jack is the 1974 Lakes High School graduate who swam for Lakes and the Tacoma Swim Club under Dick Hanula. Jack's Lakes High School coach, Mike Stauffer, said, "Jack was the only swimmer I coach who asked that if he took third period swimming class, could he have a lane to himself to get in as many yards as possible." He went on to swim at Stanford before returning to the area and becoming a prominent attorney. He has been a water polo coach at Lakes in Wilson and a significant supporter of Bellarmine sports and academics as his children attended there. For many years, he supported the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum, the Tacoma Athletic Commission, and this Tribute to Champions event by sponsoring the awards for officials.
Hi, I'm Jack Connolly, and I want to thank the Tacoma Athletic Commission and the Tacoma Sports Museum for this award. I'm truly honored and humbled. I've learned that sports is a lifetime pursuit, and there's a lot of different ways to contribute. I've been fortunate in my own career to have had outstanding coaches who really cared about the people they coached, starting with Chemo Streeter at Mount Tacoma, Gary Dyer at Furcrest, Dan Wolfram and Dick Hanula at Tacoma Swim Club with the senior team and the national team, and Mike Stauffer at Lakes High School. All of these coaches gave me the opportunity to swim at Stanford for a top 10 national team, which was an amazing experience. The coaching that I've done has been pure joy, coaching swimming down in Palo Alto or coaching the water polo teams at both Wilson and Lakes and taking those teams to states, or coaching my own kids and working with them through Bellarmine football and wrestling, or now flag football, and or Ironman competitions or cycling at West Point has truly been wonderful. In the community, the work with Brad Cheney to keep the Rainiers in Tacoma, the announcing down at the Stanford swim meets, working with the Sports Museum to find a home for it, and then especially working with Doug MacArthur to keep the Highlands Golf Course from developers. Working with Doug was truly magic and meaningful. Finally, I want to thank my family, my friends, my coworkers for all of their support, and especially my wife and partner, Angela. I've been very fortunate and blessed, and I really appreciate this award. So go Cardinal, go Lancers, go Lions. Thank you.
We wrap up the Distinguished Achievement Awards with the Dick Hanula Male and Female Amateur Athletes of the Year Award. Avery Siccotti is a senior outside hitter who led the Curtis Vikings to the WIAA 4A State Championship last fall. She was named to the 4A All-State team and was named the Offensive Most Valuable Player of the South Puget Sound League. Avery made significant contributions on offense and defense, leading Curtis with 323 kills, 4.3%, 33 aces, 13 blocks, and 169 digs. Curtis finished a perfect 27-0 season, and Avery was named the Tacoma News-Tribune's 2024 All-Area Volleyball Player of the Year. Curtis coach Batista said Avery will largely be missed in our program and our school. She is someone that everyone gravitates towards, and her positive, uplifting attitude and will to win is contagious. In the fall, she takes her talent to Santa Clara University's NCAA Division I beach volleyball program.
Hi, my name is Avery Siccotti. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the Tribute to Champions for this award. Being named Female Amateur Athlete of the Year is truly incredible and something I could have never imagined. To my coaches, thank you for believing in me, pushing me, and helping me grow, not just as an athlete, but as a person. To my teammates, you guys are the hardest working people I know. Every game, every practice, every struggle and triumph, we did it together and grew as a team. I'd like to give a shout out to Chrissy Brandt. If it wasn't for you, I never would have picked up volleyball, and because of that, I can't imagine my life without it. You sparked a passion in me that shaped who I am and allowed me to learn and thrive. And of course, my parents, your endless support, the countless hours, the rides, the cheering from the sidelines, none of this would have been possible without you, and your belief in me has been my greatest motivation. This award may have my name on it, but it belongs to everyone who has helped me along the journey. Thank you.
Joining Avery in the Hanula Award recognition is University of Washington football player Denzel Boston. Denzel, who played at Puyallups Emerald Ridge High School, had 807 receiving yards for the Huskies, leading the team last year. He also led UW receivers with 9 touchdowns, tied for 8th most in UW history. The 6'4" junior was an honorable mention All-Big Ten selection. He will return as one of the leading receivers in the conference next fall.
Hey there, it's Denzel Boston, and I just want to say thank you to all you guys for all the support and everything, and, for me being able to be awarded this award, and I just want to say thank you. First, I want to say thank you to God. Without him, this would not be possible. Without him being there every step of the way, without him, making sure, just being able to fulfill me while I play football. Secondly, I want to say thank you to my parents due to their investment in me with their money, time, and energy. I've been able to be successful and be here, and, it's good to see a return on their investment. Thirdly, I want to thank my cousins and my family back home in Idaho. Thank you for you guys' support all the time and, always trying to keep up with me, make sure I'm doing good. And I just want to say thank you for that. And I just want to say thank you to my community, Puyallup and where I'm from. Thank you to you guys for, always, promoting my stuff and, making sure that, I'm doing good and checking in on me when you guys see me. So thank you guys. To my family, I love you. And, keep pushing and God bless.
We have an abundant history of athletic excellence in Tacoma and Pierce County. Those recognized this year have all added something special to the sports community.
All righty. Wow. Let's hear it real quickly for that entire group. Small world. Margaret McCormick began in Medford, Oregon. That is where I started my sports career, back at KOBI TV in Medford, Oregon. We got Denzel's in the house. Any Husky fans out here tonight? Just a few. Any Cougar fans out here tonight? Oh boy. No, I gotta be careful of this table right here. A lot of Cougar. And what's nice? The Lindens are finally Fife is getting their due respect. For so many years, Fife has either been known as the gateway to Milton, or be careful when you're driving in Fife, keep it under 20 for the tickets. But finally, Fife is getting some love tonight. I love it. Way to go, Fife. All right. And there's nothing wrong with being the gateway to Edgewood or Milton, by the way, Fife, either. Great cities there. Let's get started, shall we? To lead off our program tonight, we will begin with the Conley Law Office's Excellence in Officiating Awards. This is our 13th year that Conley Law Offices has sponsored this award, and Jack Conley's commitment to honoring officials is tremendous. So how about a big round of applause for Jack as we have him come up on stage. Jack, I'm going to give you the mic. Thank you for everything you do, my friend.
We started this award 13 years ago to thank a group of people that are performing a thankless job that's necessary for all of these sports to occur, and also to celebrate excellence. And these guys that you're about to meet are truly excellent, and they have been selected and determined among all the officials in the state of Washington to meet the following criteria, and I want to read those briefly. Respect for the spirit and the letter of the laws of the games, integrity and ethics, a service above self attitude, a motivating effect on others, strong community involvement, excellence in officiating, years of service and positions held in local, state, and national officials organizations, awards received from these organizations, and membership and good standing in the Washington Officials Association. So the whole purpose of this award is to say thank you to this group of people for the dedication and commitment that they've shown in the countless hours giving back to this sports. So thank you.
Jack, thank you. We're going to have you hand out the plaques as I bring them on up stage. And Jack, you can have them kind of centered here when they come on up, and we'll get a nice picture of them for you. All right, let's begin. Darren Barr, boys and girls basketball for the Tacoma Basketball Officials Association. You could stay right over here. We'll get one big shot of everybody at the end. Let's welcome from football for the Western Washington Football Officials Association, Keon Edwards. Up next, let's hear it for Dan Graves. With the Pierce County Umpires Association, Dan is actually umpiring a league playoff game right now, so accepting on behalf of Dan is his son, Travis. Pretty cool stuff. Coming up next, Jay Schneider. JJ over there? Okay. Could be getting a dessert in the back. All right, let's go next. Clarence Dean. Clarence, we're softball with the Western Washington Softball Association. Thank you, Clarence. Well done, Clarence. Well done. All right, coming up next, Rockies Lock Volleyball with the Tacoma Pierce County Volleyball Officials Board. Coming up next to the stage, give a round of applause for Stephen Ryder. Stephen worked with the Western Washington Wrestling Officials Association. Am I missing one? Mark? We got all the officials up there? All right. I also know there are a number of officials in the audience, so if you have been an official, please stand right now because we want to give a big round of applause to you out there. Don't be shy. Well done. We thank you for your dedication, and please, if you're a parent like myself, remember, every game, there's an official, there's a player, there's a coach, and then there's a fan. Just be one. Just be one of those. All right, there you go. Let's have the officials come on up one more time for a big round of applause and one group picture. Come on up. Well done. Well done. All right. Thank you very much. Coming up now, it is time for our first Family of Sports Award. The first Family of Sports Award recognizes the contributions of parents, foster parents, or guardians who support the efforts of athletes in their family. Tonight, we recognize the Linden family of Puyallup. Please welcome to the stage the Linden family. Presenting their plaques, Kelly Kirk, a long-time and highly successful club and high school volleyball coach in the community, who just happened to be son of Hall of Fame coach Jan Kirk, who coached a couple of the daughters at Fife High School. Let us hear it for the parents, John and Krista, by the way. Here they are. And I wanted to say this. I'm going to hand the mic to each of the kids, and I want them to go down and say who they are, where they played, what sport they played, where they went after that. But I do want to take a shout out and, I'm going to put some pressure on them, Krista. I'm going to tell them they got to talk. And as Krista's mom came over here to say something to me, we need to give a big round of applause to this lady right here. Saturday night and Sunday, Chris is also the CEO of a nonprofit organization called Step by Step. You need to look it up if you haven't. She raised over $500,000 on Saturday night for this organization. Absolutely phenomenal. And all the kids are there working. John Milos is out there taking pictures in his tuxedo, doing what a dad does, the basketball star down there. And I'm going to begin down there with Dad. We'll end with you. Now, some of them did marry and you got a boy, right?
I did, yes.
I'm sorry? What? How do you parent 7 daughters?
One at a time.
That's a good answer there. Congratulations. How much pride do you have here tonight?
Yes. Proud. Very proud.
Proud?
Honor. This is an honor. Thank you very much.
Let's hear it for Dad, everyone. All right. All right. I know Mom said you didn't have to talk. I'm going to just give you the mic. You hand it down. You're going to say your name, what year you graduated, what sport did you play. As simple as that. If you got a little message, you can throw that out too. All right? You good?
Okay, my name's Annika. I graduated high school in 2018, and I played volleyball. My name is Amelia, or Mia, and I just graduated last year, and I also play volleyball. My name's Elsa. I graduated high school in 2020, and I played volleyball too.
My name is Laura. I graduated in 2013, and I played volleyball.
My name's Clara. I graduated in 2022, and I actually was not able to play sports, but I loved watching you guys.
My name is Sophia. I will be graduating in 2027, and I play volleyball.
I'm Eva. I graduated in 2015, and I played volleyball.
You get the final.
And I'm the mom of all these girls, very proud mom. And when you read in your program, the reason why Clara didn't play volleyball, I think it's an interesting story for all of this group. And I'm just proud of these girls, and thank you for this opportunity. We appreciate it.
Let's get you to come on one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, the first family of sports for 2025, the Linden family. Well done, well done. Awesome stuff. I made them talk a little bit. Good job, you guys. Good job. Well done. Oh, they got to get their plaque. Yeah, you guys got to get all your plaques. Get up there. Make sure you get your hardware. Come up on stage, get your hardware. I want to see that all on Instagram tonight, all your hardware. All right, one more time, everyone, for the Linden family, first family of sports. All right, next up, pretty special award. It is the Frosty Wesleyan Excellence in Coaching Award. This award is given in honor of one of the greatest friends of athletics and student athletes in the history of our community. Frosty was a legend. Do I need to repeat? I will. 305 wins, 4 national championships, and he made a positive impact on not dozens, not hundreds, but thousands of lives, including mine. He also has a son, Scott, who makes me jealous because he has the greatest hair in the world. No. I don't know what shampoo you use, but I do love you, Scott. Frosty meant a lot to a lot of people, and I'm just so proud that we have this award and that we hand it out annually. All right, presenting this award this year is Sue Westring, who is pretty familiar with Frosty. Sue is not only the wife of former PLU coach Scott Westring. Sue is also a legend in her own mind. She's currently the Special Projects Manager for the YMCA of Pierce and Kitsap counties, and Sue will challenge you to raise the standard and help you understand that. Excellence isn't something you get, it is something you become. Winning the Frosty Wesleyan Excellence in Coaching Award is Dorinda Carpenter. And Sue, you want to come on up and hand her the plaque? We'll have you want to come on up? Oh, we got the plaque. Well, Dorinda has carried on a tradition of excellence as the head gymnastics coach at Puyallup High School for the past 25 years. Let's hear it for her one more time. Pretty cool. Go Bikes, we'll leave you right here on stage. I'm a little biased, but go Bikes. Joining Dorinda for the Coaching Award, it is time to congratulate Mark Massey for his longevity and highly successful career as the head volleyball coach for the past 29 years at the University of Puget Sound. How many loggers we got in the house? Let's hear it, loggers. Let's hear it. Right in the heart. All right, let's get you two right up in front here. Nice little group picture. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and say thanks to Dorinda and Mark for the time they have given to benefit student athletes. All All right, we're now moving on to the Doug MacArthur Lifetime Achievement Award. Frosty, Doug MacArthur. I mean, these names. We have been blessed in Pierce County to have some amazing leaders in our area. Doug had a passion for sports and a passion for life, giving back, and he did it for 94 years. When you mention Doug's name, you might as well include Clay Huntington, Stan Nacarado, Ben Cheney, and Tom Cross in that group. For those of you who have the Playgrounds to Pros book in front of you, check out the story about the Fab Five, as indeed they were. With that in mind, let's roll the video.
I'd like to start by asking if you are into sports. And if you are, you should get into the TAC. We have over 200 members who are dedicated to assisting youth and sports. I'm Doug MacArthur, and I'm very honored that the Tacoma Athletic Commission would name a Lifetime Achievement Award for me. It indicates that much of a person's life has been spent productively, and in this instance, in sports. Taking a look at the past recipients really gives you a good idea of what this award is all about. Ruggles Larson, who was one of the first Golden Gloves amateur boxers in the area. Angie Eichholz, who was active in track and field and went on to become the first woman president of the Tacoma Athletic Commission. Stan Nacarado and Ken Still, who were legendary in golf and baseball. The great Dick Canula, who seemingly never lost a swim meet to anyone his entire career. Bob Robertson, the voice of sports in Tacoma and the voice of the Cougars. And Joe Stortini, a championship coach, baseball and football player, and slow pitch world champion. So then, why me? Well, when I was a youngster, I grew up in a logging camp 25 miles northeast of Bellingham on the edge of Mount Baker National Forest. We never had a field to play on. We never had a hoop to shoot through. The only sport I knew anything about was fishing. But there was a savior in that because we had radio. And Leo Lassen, the voice of the Seattle Rainiers, made a lasting impression upon me. I'll never forget his phrase, back, 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 and it's over. My first job was sports director of KTAC Radio. And in fact, every job that I held in my life was surrounded by sports. I was supervisor at athletics for Metro Parks after that. I became director of athletics at my alma mater, the University of Puget Sound, for 13 years at that. And I also formed my own business, Mac Northwest, a sports promotion firm, and we spent much of our time with local sports, including founding the Safeco Classic, the LPGA golf tournament, and most of all, conducting the campaign to make the Tacoma Dome a dome of our own. Yes, sports have been good to me. I am grateful and appreciative. My lifetime has been a ball, and I hope this achievement award inspires someone else to be involved for a lifetime of their own in sports, sports, and more sports.
Presenting the plaques to this year's recipients is 2007 Tacoma Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame member Mike Stopper, a three-sport athlete at Wilson High. He set state records for the 50 and 100 freestyles and went on to swim at the University of Minnesota, where he was a three-time All-American. Mike also coached swimming at Lakes High School from 1967 to 2003, leading the Lakes Lancers team to 2 state titles. Our first winner tonight, Margaret McCormick. Margaret, Director of Recreation Community Services at what is now called Parks Tacoma, and also overseeing the community fund for Tacoma's Tigers and Rainiers baseball teams. To know Margaret is to cherish her passion for the good of our community and to enjoy her never-ending enthusiasm and sense of humor. The godmother of recreation, Margaret McCormick. Margaret, you want to say anything? You're loud and proud.
Thank you.
Simple as that, right, Margaret? All right, I'm going to keep you right here. Is that all right? We want one more picture. Our next winner, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Conway. Jack's passion, love, and dedication to not only sports, but for the community as a whole is crystal clear. A TAC member, executive board member for the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum, and on the lookout for a place to build a venue to house the incredible collection. As a family man, he and his wife, Angela, have raised 9 children, 7 sons, 2 daughters, which so far translates to 7 granddaughters. No grandsons, but Jack, we saw the Linden family pretty successful there. Let's not get greedy and want a boy. I mean, women's power, girls can do pretty good things, right, ladies? Right? Yes. We want to congratulate Jack for the time, energy, and financial resources committed equally to Tacoma Pierce County in so many positive ways, and to Angela as well for her devotion to so many great causes, and for reminding you which child or grandchild has a birthday, a wedding, a game, or graduation to attend. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Jack. Hey, Margaret, we're going to bring you up. We're going to bring all 3 up. And real quickly, before I'm going to get out of the picture, you want to ask, I'm going to jump right back in. Go ahead and take that awesome picture. You are usually handing out the awards, and you're a very humble man. What does this night mean to you, for you?
It's huge. I really appreciate all the people that came and appreciate the award. It's especially coming from Doug MacArthur and in his honor. It's beautiful. So thank you very much.
One more time, everybody. Margaret, I forgot to ask you, what high school was that, Margaret? I got to get down there with Margaret. What high school in Medford? What high school in Medford?
St. Mary's in Medford. There was 9 kids in our graduating class.
Wow. That's pretty cool stuff. All right, time now for the Dick Anula Male and Female Amateur Athlete of the Year Award. The Dick Anula Award is given to the top male and female amateur athlete in or from Pierce County during the past year. It is the TAC's oldest award, as it was first handed out back in 1988, and here we are, 37 years later, still honoring these great athletes. We're going to let Coach Hanula, a man of few words, give us a little message tonight, so let's roll the video, shall we?
The Tacoma Athletic Commission instituted the Amateur Athlete of the Year Award in 1987. I'm Dick Hanula, and was so honored by TAC to have the award named after me. In recognizing the best amateur athletes of Tacoma Pierce County, it also was recognizing and encouraging all amateur athletes in our area. Amateur athletes train and compete for the best of reasons, the love of the sport and the love of competition. I coached thousands of athletes in the sport of swimming over my lifetime. These athletes sacrificed a great amount of time and effort to succeed, and that effort was both physical and mental. Sports represent a great arena to test and prepare for life's challenges, the ability to adjust to both the winning and the losing. Success and failures are arguably best learned in athletics. Failure is essential in the learning process, and I believe amateur athletics present the greatest opportunities for these life lessons. Congratulations to all Tacoma Pierce County athletes, and a special congratulations to this year's winners.
All right, thank you, Dick. And Dick is here, but joining us on stage, his son Dan, pretty talented, 1970 Wilson High graduate. Dan, how about this? Two-time state champion in the 200-yard free, as well as a two-time high school All-American and three-time college All-American while swimming for the University of Washington. He was also a member of Wilson State Championship water polo teams 1969 and 1970. Our first winner tonight from Curtis High School in University Place. Let's hear it for Avery Sicati. She led the Vikings to a team 27-0 record and the 4A state championship. She was also the Player of the Year selection from the State Coaches Association, the News Tribune, and she was also the SBSL 4A Offensive Player of the Year. Avery, how about this? She's smiling now. She could get nasty on the football field. She's also a very good flag football player, so she helped Curtis win some games in girls flag football. She's going to take her talents to the beach volleyball field at Santa Clara University next fall. Let's hear it for Avery, everyone. Real quick, Avery, come on. I just want to ask you, though, the WIAA, they voted girls flag football is going to become a sport. How exciting is that?
Very exciting!
You're fired up for that, right?
Yes, so excited.
How exciting is this night? Look at all these faces out here.
It's amazing. I'm so grateful.
Okay, I'm going to get out of the picture. Don't take me. Get her. All right. All right. And hang right here. We need to get a picture with the both of you. Our other winner tonight, a track and football standout back in the day at Emerald Ridge High School, Denzel Boston. Denzel Boston enjoyed a stellar season this past fall for the Washington Huskies. 9 touchdowns, 60 receptions for the Huskies. His 6'4" wide receiver was named honorable mention all-league by both the coaches and the media. And I'm maybe he doesn't want to hear this, but I did a little work last night on Denzel. According to Pro Football Focus, Denzel right now is considered a first-round pick in next year's NFL draft. Here's another thing, if you look him up on Wikipedia, that you're not going to find. Denzel Boston played on Ridge Baseball for Coach Chris Egan. This is true. And I remember that moment on the fields. I turned to Denzel, who was leaving for football. I said, why are you going to play football? You're much better at baseball. You should quit football and focus on baseball so you can hang out with me more. Coach, I think I'm better at football. No, you're not. Thank God he didn't listen to Coach Chris Egan. Ladies and gentlemen, Denzel Boston. Real quick, little fluid picture, Denzel. How special is this night to be here representing Pierce County?
I'm very grateful, and I'm just happy I'm here to represent Pierce County, and I thank God, and just thank you guys for all being here.
Yeah, there he is. Let's get him on front here. Picture you two both. Hey, we'll get you both of you up there. That's pretty cool. Let's hear it one more time for these two. I'm going to get one for over here. There we go. One more. I got 3 jobs. I got to be working doing other stuff. All right, let's hear it for Avery and Denzel, everyone. Well done. All right. Tonight we are pleased to share a special presentation called the Lifetime of Service Recognition. The title of this award, very important because this individual embodies the word service to the fullest extent and truly has given 110% to any and every volunteer opportunity he has been involved with in his entire life. He's one of the most giving individuals that many of us here tonight have had the privilege of knowing, and we are all richer tonight for being able to call him our friend. Ed Minotti is a very, very special human being. Here's Ed's story. Now, let's roll the video.
This year we have an additional surprise, Lifetime of Service recognition for Uber volunteer Ed Minotti. Whenever a trusted hand is needed, Ed is there. From this Tribute to Champions event to Golden Gloves Boxing, Tacoma Athletic Commission Athlete of the Year Award luncheons, and many more efforts, Ed is first to say that he will help and last to leave when the final chairs have been folded and the tables rolled away. And for the honor of being able to help out, Ed usually thanks us by making a financial contribution to support the event. Ed's generosity of time and treasure is worth recognition every year. One of the inaugural Wilson Rams graduating in 1959, Ed was a football captain and state tournament wrestler. He's another gritty Tacoman who doesn't seek the spotlight but is deserving of the moment of thanks. Attaway, Ed.
All right. Making the presentation, Colleen Hall-Barta, a member of the Tacoma Athletic Commission since 1986. She's also served on the board of directors for the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum since 1998 and is the current vice president. We are honored and privileged to name Ed as the first recipient of the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum's Lifetime of Service recognition. There he is right there.
And because Ed wears a lot of hats all the time, and most of us don't ever see him without a baseball cap on, well, now he's got a special one to wear.
The hat reads, if you can't read the back, Lifetime of Service Recognition, Ed Minotti. Well done. And Ed, I want you to step up. We're going to get a solo picture in here in a sec. But Ed, all you do, it seems to me, is just you give back and you love.
Thank you.
Can you tell us your philosophy of life on why you do that?
Oh, well, I think I grew up on a farm, and my folks come from the oil country. And the Swiss Society used to call and ask my dad, we've got somebody coming in, can you take them in for a short time? And so my dad would take these people in, and they'd work on a farm. My dad never charged them nothing. And that kind of wore off on me. I do things because it makes me feel good. I have no expectations that anybody owes me anything. This award, if I ever get my hands on Mark Blau, but Mark Blau does a great job. You do a great job. And I'm so thankful for this. You know, I don't, thank you.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I think, Ed, I'm going to let you just soak this in, Ed. I'm going to let you soak this in right here. Well, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Moments like that, celebrating incredible people that have done incredible things. And the more of these events I go to, it's usually people like Ed, they don't want the recognition. They don't want to be up on stage. They live their life humble. They don't want anybody to know what they do. But I'm sorry, we need to honor more and more people like Ed every year. So well done, Ed. Thank you so much. Awesome stuff. Sadly, every year we lose some very special people. Over the past year and a few months, I lost my brother Brian, my best friend from work, my photographer of 25 years, Alan Reed, and a mentor and inspiration to me. Frosty Westring introduced him to me back at PLU back in 1994, the great Tony Ventrella, who has been up on this stage many times. Blessed are those that weep, for in due time you will laugh. I've wept plenty over the past year, but now I smile and laugh, and I share stories of joy about all three of them wherever I go. Now we look back at some of our close friends that we lost over the past year. Yeah. We may have a record crowd here tonight, but I think we may have a record crowd up in Evan, Washington tonight. So let's give a big round of applause for all those incredible people. I talked about the three people I lost over the past year, and I have no regrets with how I lived life with all three of them, and I just kind of continue to preach that to people I know and enjoy every day. I love your family, bury anything so you got bad with anybody. Just love them, and that's what Tony Ventrella used to teach me. It was just love life, don't take it too seriously, and have fun. And we miss you every day. Tony V used to MC this event, and we lost a great one in Tony and some other great ones as well. Tony also just said, Chris, make sure you have fun. So I was thinking, all right, Tony, what's a joke? So I was trying to look through some of my old texts with Tony. And here's a fun little joke. I'll just share it real quickly. Tony said, keep him smiling, keep him smiling. So there's an 85-year-old man by the name of Al, and Al wasn't feeling too well, so he went to the doctor, and he got his checkup. And the next day, the doctor's out walking, and he sees Al laughing and smiling, and Al has this just great-looking young gal with him. And the doctor comes over and says, Al, what the heck happened? You look great. He said, I took your advice, doctor. I got a hot mama, and I'm cheerful. The doctor says, Al, I said you got a heart murmur. Be careful. I see you, Tony V. I see you. All right. It is tough to top that powerful video. And Joanne, thank you for all your work back there. I know she's been busy putting all these videos together, so thank you. But we now move on to the Hall of Fame inductions. So it is time to meet our 15 outstanding individuals and learn a little bit about their accomplishments. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, your 15 Hall of Fame members coming into this class. Let's roll the video.
The Tacoma Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame features an extraordinary group of Olympians, major leaguers, college All-Americans, and other contributors to our local sports legacy. Here we induct a new class of standouts. For more details about each inductee, see bios in the event program. Introducing the class of 2025 Hall of Famers. A two-time first-team All-SPSL pitcher at Sumner High, Nick Hagedorn was drafted by the Mariners in the 36th round out of high school in 2006, but chose to play at the University of Washington. There, after going 6-1 with a 2.77 ERA in junior season for the Huskies, Hagedorn became the number 55 overall pick of the 2007 Major League Baseball draft. He navigated his way through the minors and held a spot in the Cleveland Indians bullpen from 2011 through 2015, appearing in 143 Major League games. Since the Major League Baseball draft began in 1965, Hagedorn is one of just 8 players from Pierce County High School to reach the majors.
Thank you to the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame for the honor of being inducted tonight, and congratulations to all of the other new members. My career was a dream come true, and I'm thankful to have many fond memories that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. However, the journey of a professional athlete can be a truly selfish one, and so it's really to my family that I owe the greatest debt of gratitude and the sincerest thank you. To my parents, Mike and Allison, thank you for raising me to believe that I could accomplish anything that I set my mind to. To my wife, Pasarapon, you've been here since the beginning, always unwavering in your support and your encouragement, even through the many ups and downs. It's really the 3 of you that kept me on the rails throughout the years, and I never would have made it as far as I did without all of you. And finally, to Haley and Oliver, I hope that my story is proof to you that you can do whatever you want in this life as long as you work hard and stay focused. Thank you.
It is remarkable, given the exceptional talent that the Gonzaga basketball program has featured over the past 25 years, that Bellarmine grad Jim McPhee is still the 3rd leading career scorer for the Bulldogs with 2,015 points. McPhee, a 6'5" shooting guard, started every game he played at Gonzaga, averaged 23.6 points as a senior, and scored a career-high 42 in both games against WCC champion Loyola Marymount in 1990. He was the 3-time All-West Coast Conference first-team selection. He joined the Seattle Supersonics NBA Rookie Summer League team after graduation before shifting his focus to law school.
Thank you so much to the Tacoma Athletic Commission for this great honor. I've been fortunate to have great influences in my life, in sports and in school. I've had an unfair advantage given the great influences in my life. I've had great teachers from St. Charles to Bellarmine to Gonzaga Law School. Locally at St. Charles, from Sister Philomena to Sister Julie, to Sister Dorina, to Mrs. Condon to Mr. McCoy. At Bellarmine, from Mr. Wetzler to Mr. Plouffe, Father Weber to Brother Paul Cawthorn. And I've had great coaches. At Bellarmine, Steve Anstead. At Gonzaga, Dan Fitzgerald and Mark Few. Even Casey Jones, and they taught me as much about being a person as they did about playing a sport. Now, I have great brothers and sisters. I'm the youngest of 9, and my brothers and sisters have done more for me than they could possibly understand, and I love them more than they could ever know. And I had the great fortune of being able to grow up in the same household with my idol, my older brother, Bryce. I have 3 kids that turned out to be amazing humans, thanks mostly to my wife. And if any of you have met my wife, you know that I married way up. So I've been supported by great teachers, great coaches. They're great leaders and great influences in my life to this day. But not one of them was a father figure, and not one of them was a mother figure, because I had the greatest mom and dad in the world. Any success that I've had is a direct result from the love and support of Georgia and Bill McPhee. Now, I wish they could be here in person, but they're here in my heart. So again, thank you to the Tacoma Athletic Commission, and congratulations to the other recipients with whom I get to share this event.
Bryce McPhee is Jim's older brother and also Gonzaga basketball standout. After leading Bellarmine to the state championship game, Bryce played for Gonzaga from 1981 through 1985, scoring 1,060 points. He earned first-team All-Conference honors in 1983. Bryce had 2 seasons disrupted by significant injuries. His skills earned the admiration of a would-be basketball Hall of Famer. His teammate, John Stockton, after participating in the 1984 Olympic team tryouts, including Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, and others, was asked by a USA Today reporter who was the toughest player he had played against. Stockton's reply, Bryce McPhee, every day in practice.
I'd like to thank everyone involved with this evening. I'd like to thank players, friends, coaches that helped me along the way, guys like Tim Bordeaux, Todd Irwin, Doug Thompson, Leo Liebert, Bill Russell, Jerry West, Jimmy Moore, coaches like Dr. Jim Bordeaux at St. Charles, Coach Mihalich at Bellarmine, Coach Anstead at Bellarmine taught me to play hard and play smart and respect the game. Dan Fitzgerald for giving me the opportunity to play at Gonzaga, and Steve Hertz for letting me play a second sport there as well. But I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for Bill and Georgia McPhee and my 8 brothers and sisters. They taught me how to play hard, how to work hard. They taught me about respect, loyalty, dependability. They taught me how to lose. And I am just an accumulation of everything that they've ever taught me in my life. I'd also like to thank you for honoring Jimmy tonight too, who's arguably the best little brother in the world. I love him to death. And when I look at this award, I'll always think about how it led me to my wife, Alice, who's given me 5 phenomenal kids, Jake, Bryce, Brittany, Jordan, and Jenna. And for that, I'll be eternally grateful. Thank you.
Ed Bowman enjoyed a 25-year sports broadcasting career in Tacoma, a 1953 Lincoln grad who played basketball at the College of Puget Sound. Bowman called action ranging from Camerano Brothers Double Cola Little League Caravan Baseball, which featured future Major Leaguer Ron Cey, to high school, college, and professional sports. When the 1969 Tacoma Cubs won the AAA Baseball Pacific Coast League Championship, Bowman was on the mic along with Don Hill. Several years later, he was part of the broadcast as the University of Puget Sound men's basketball team won the 1976 NCAA Division II National Championship.
Thank you for my selection to the Broadcaster category Hall of Fame at the Tribute of Champions Banquet. My broadcasting career started in 1955 as an avocation. Doug MacArthur and Clay Huntington asked me to join their team, which included Bob Robertson, to broadcast the Washington State High School Class B basketball tournament at the College of Puget Sound Fieldhouse. Major remembrances in my 25-year career on the air include the 1969 Tacoma Cubs winning the Pacific Coast League Championship. Whitey Lockman was our manager. I worked the series with Don Hill on the radio. In 1976, Doug MacArthur and I broadcast the NCAA Division II National Championship basketball games from Evansville, Indiana. The Loggers defeated Old Dominion University in the semifinals and the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, 83-74 for the national title. Very exciting. What a memory-filled broadcast career. Thank you again for my selection to the Broadcast category Hall of Fame at this Tribute of Champions banquet.
You could argue that Mike Vindovich is the greatest high school running back ever from Tacoma. He led Mount Tahoma to back-to-back state championships in 1979 and 1980, earning All-American honors as a senior. Vindovich finished his high school career with 3,232 rushing yards and 50 touchdowns and was a 2-time All-State selection. A Seattle Times article in 2004 identified the top 25 running backs in state history. Vindovich was ranked number 7. Knee injuries led to his transfer from the University of Washington to PLU. He helped the Lutes reach the NAI Division II National Championship game in 1985.
It's good to be here tonight. I want to thank Mark and the committee for this honor. But I'd also like to thank my parents, Ron and Carol, my older brother, Ronnie, and best friend, my sister, Sandy, and my 2 younger brothers, John and Paul. I'd also like to thank my wife, Julie, my daughter, Jillybug, and my son, Andrew. And to all the coaches I had, from my first being John and Harry Harper, to my last being Hall of Fame human being, Frosty Westering. And to all my friends and those great Mount Tahoma teams. In the school's 60-year history, we were the only ones to be called champions, and we hung the banner twice. The city was full of champions in the 1970s, from basketball, football, swimming, track and field, and Olympic gold medalists in boxing. Grateful to be part of the golden era of Tacoma sports. So as Higgins from Ted Lasso would say, to the families we're born with, to the families we made along the way. Thank you.
First drawing acclaim on the junior golf circuit as a Life Christian Academy student in the late 1990s, Michael Putnam became a decorated player at Pepperdine University. He was a three-time All-American for the Waves and won the 2005 Byron Nelson Award as the top NCAA Division I scholar athlete in golf. He was inducted into the Pepperdine Sports Hall of Fame in 2016. After graduating from Pepperdine, he held the PGA Tour cards in the years 2007, 2011, 2014, 2015, and 16. He was named the 2013 Web.com Tour Player of the Year after finishing first on the money list and winning two tournaments, the Mexico Open and the Mid-Atlantic Championship. Putnam started 134 PGA Tour events. He made 80 cuts and had two top 5 finishes. He made the cut at the U.S. Open 3 times, placing as high as 35th in 2017.
Hi, I'm honored to be selected as part of the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame. When I started playing golf at age 7 at Fircrest Golf Club, there wasn't a dream I could have dreamt that would have led me to the success I had on the golf course. But there were a lot of influencers that led the way, who I looked up to as a young kid that made that dream come alive. Professional golf is made up of small steps along a winding journey, and that's who I want to thank today. To start, my mom and dad, specifically my dad, who used to bet me $100 I couldn't beat him every time we went out as a kid. Well, about age 12, that changed, and he stopped betting me the $100. But that was good motivation for me back then. About that age, fellow Tacoma Pierce County Hall of Famer and Fircrest teacher Ken Still took me under my wings, encouraging me every step of the way. I looked up to Dusty Brett, who was a local legend, who signed with Stanford to play college golf. I remember thinking, man, if he can do it, maybe I can. I want to thank Joe Teal, my swing coach, Joe Thomas, my Curtis golf coach, who kept golf fun and engaging. And once married, my wife Christina, who signed up to support this crazy life of professional golf, traveling 35 weeks a year. So just want to say thank you to everybody. What an honor it is to be recognized for my achievements on and off the golf course, and God bless.
We start another pair of Tacoma-raised sibling inductees this year with Michelle Wooding Murphy. She was a 2-time Pacific Northwest Golf Association Women's Amateur Champion in 1986 and 1987 before a college career at the University of New Mexico and then time on the LPGA Tour. Murphy was on the LPGA Tour in 1998, 2000, and 2001. Murphy claimed 2 victories on the LPGA Futures Tour and 3 wins on the Players West Tour. She also competed in 9 U.S. Women's Open Championships. In college, she was the 3-time member of the Western Athletic Conference All-Conference team. She was the head men's and women's coach at the University of Portland from 2004 through 2011 and has held several college and club teaching professional roles.
My name is Michelle Murphy. I am a 2025 Pierce County Tacoma Sports Hall of Fame inductee. I want to thank the committee for this great honor. It was an unexpected surprise of which I'm very honored to be a part of. I want to thank my mom and dad for giving me the opportunity to play all the sports that I love. I grew up playing, and especially golf, which I continue to pursue throughout my life and I'm still involved in today. I'd like to thank my teachers and coaches at St. Charles and my teachers and coaches at Bellarmine Prep and my college golf coach, John Sperry, at the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque for seeing potential and a good attitude enough so that I was asked to join that team. It's an honor to be a part of this organization. Thank you.
Michelle's younger sister, Audrey, also had success at the local junior golf level before college and a pro career. Audrey Wooding won the 15 through 17-year-old division of the Washington Junior Golf Association State Championship in 1987, when she also earned the Al Mengert Inspirational Golfer of the Year award. She went to Stanford and excelled, earning honorable mention All-American in 1991 and second-team All-American in 1992 when she finished third at the NCAA Championship. She played 2 seasons on the LPGA Pro Tour.
Thank you for the honor of being inducted into the Tacoma Athletic Sports Hall of Fame. It's an honor for me to receive this award. There's a number of entities and people that I would like to thank just for making this possible. First and foremost, my parents who joined Fircrest Golf Course back in the late 70s and gave me the opportunity to get started playing golf. Then I had siblings that really pushed me to be better, and my sister in particular, who is also being inducted tonight, as well as all the friends that I played golf with throughout my junior golf career. Additionally, Washington Junior Golf Association was a huge instrumental part of the joy of the game, as well as building my skills, building relationships, and eventually going on to play college golf at Stanford. So that was quite the honor, and thanking any of those folks that gave me the opportunity to do and achieve what I have in the sport of golf. So enjoy the rest of the ceremony, and thanks again.
Along with winning countless local, state, and regional championships over decades, Myron Schmidt rose to the top of the national handball rankings in the seniors divisions. Schmidt won the United States Handball National Championship in 1988 for 4-wall 60 singles in Berkeley and in 1993 for 65 singles in Baltimore. Schmidt, a Lincoln grad, began playing handball February 19th of 1954, his second day as a Tacoma firefighter. He remembers how his hands hurt, but he liked the competition. He became a prominent YMCA team player and won over 75 tournaments.
Hello, I'm Gil Mendoza, longtime handball player and friend of Myron Schmidt, your newest inductee into the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame, to my right. To his right is Gordy Pfeiffer, also a member of your organization, a former world champion who'd also like to say a few words about Myron.
Yeah, I met Myron down at the fire station, watched him play, and was totally amazed at his ability to play in a different and unique way using his fist. It was quite remarkable, and he still can play today.
I'm Myron Schmidt here. I appreciate very much all the effort that's been going on and kindness to my play that is long ago over with. And thank you very much.
Wally Streeter began his high school coaching career at Tacoma Stadium High in 1946 and later moved to Mount Tahoma through 1964. His teams won 7 state championships. Streeter coached 24 swimmers who achieved All-American times. He was the first representative to the National Interscholastic Swimming Coaches Association from Washington. Streeter was also a representative on the swimming committee of the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association and served as president of the Washington Interscholastic Swimming Coaches Association.
Thank you to the TAC and the Sports Museum for this opportunity to honor my dad, Wally Streeter. Wally's journey with competitive swimming began as a student at Stadium High School in the 1920s. He earned his degree in physical education, leading him to his first job in 1933 in the Honolulu YMCA. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, my family moved back to Tacoma. Wally's passion for swimming only grew stronger. He had a successful coaching career at Stadium High School, influencing the lives of countless young men in Tacoma while winning 7 state titles. Wally was a respected leader throughout the state, always striving to elevate the sport and support his fellow coaches. Wally's legacy is one of mentorship as he coached and inspired many while remaining genuine, kind, and humble. On behalf of my family, thank you for celebrating the life of a true leader.
Wally's son, Chemo, was a standout in the Butterfly at Stadium and the University of Puget Sound. His early coaching days were at Curtis Junior High, Mount Tacoma, and the Tacoma Swim Club. In 1967, Chemo Streeter became the first swimming coach at Peninsula High School, founding the Peninsula Swim Club. In 1980, he began the Puget Sound Swim Club at South Kitsap High School. During his 12 years at Peninsula and 15 years at South Kitsap, he coached 14 state champions and 4 relay championship teams. From the 1990 Goodwill Games through 2008, he participated in some capacity in every collegiate Pacific Northwest Swimming and U.S. Swimming Championship held at the King County Aquatic Center. In 2006, he was inducted into the Halls of Fame for Pacific Northwest Swimming and the Washington Interscholastic Swimming Coaches Association.
I want to acknowledge the people who have played an important role in my career, because success in coaching is never a solo endeavor. I owe so much to my family, my parents and brother Bill. Their love and encouragement gave me the foundation I needed to chase my dreams. Of course, none of this would have been possible without the unwavering support of my loving wife, Ann, and my children, Kevin and Kim. Your love and patience means the world to me. Time with my dad at pools and days as a lifeguard, instructor, and swimmer under Dick Haniel and Don Duncan planted the seeds for my career and ignited a passion for coaching. But as we all know, it's not just about the coaches or mentors. It's the athletes that show up day after day giving everything they have. They are the true joy and challenge of this profession. Watching athletes grow from kids on the deck to successful adults has been the most rewarding part of this journey. I have learned as much from them as they ever did from me. To the athletes I've had the privilege of coaching, thank you. You have made this journey unforgettable. It is an honor to be recognized by the Commission and Museum. To everyone who has supported me, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
The young sprinters, jumpers, and throwers at Lakes High School had an excellent coach when Willie Stewart Jr. led the team from 1993 through 2006. The Lancers won 3 consecutive 3A state championships in 1999, 2000, and 2001. Stewart trained competitors placed at state 56 times, including 10 state champions. Stewart was named the 2001 Washington State Track and Field Association Coaches Coach of the Year. In 2013, the Washington State Track and Field Coaches Association inducted him into their Hall of Fame.
Thank you to the Tacoma Athletic Commission and to the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum Hall of Fame for this award. This award is not just for me, but it is for all of the athletes, coaches, athletic directors, school administrators, and parents that I had the privilege of working with at Lakes High School. Lakes High School had excellent coaches in all sports to learn from and work with. I would also like to thank my family for all of the support during my coaching days. I am also proud of the athletes that I have coached over the years and what they have become as adults with their careers and families. I can remember how hard our track and field athletes worked at practices and how much they wanted to strive to be the best they could be and wanted success for their teammates and our team. Coaches stretch the hard work would pay off during competition, and hard work pays off as you go through life. Congratulations to all of the inductees into the Hall of Fame tonight. Thank you, family, friends, coaches, and athletes that are here in attendance. And thank you for all of the work the TAC, Pierce County Sports Museum, do for the community.
In the early years of existence for Emerald Ridge High School on Puyallup South Hill, Jessica Brody Hansen was a star volleyball player even at 5'6". She earned all-state accolades in 2002 before moving on to Portland State University. At PSU, Jessica became the 2006 Big Sky Conference Most Valuable Player and was named the Female Athlete of the Year at Portland State. She held 18 different Portland State team records. Until 2024, she was the only Vikings player ever to reach 1,000 kills and 1,000 digs.
Hi, thank you so much for this honor and privilege to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations also to everybody else being honored tonight. I'm here for my volleyball career, so I just want to start with thanking my coaches all the way through my career. So starting with my junior high coaches, all the way through high school, college. I played a little bit in the PVL, so the Premier League for our region as well. So thank you so much for everyone along the way. I was always an undersized player. So all of my coaches, though, believed in me and gave me chances and opportunities. And I'm so thankful for that. Also, thank you to my mom and my dad. My dad had a terminal illness growing up with ALS, and you never would have guessed it. They were always front row at my games, and not only my number one fan, but my siblings as well. There's 4 of us growing up. So just truly thank you so much for everyone who paved the way and opened doors for me so I could be here today in front of you. Thank you.
Competing in the state wrestling championships against boys, Puyallups' Whitney Condor-Cox was a 2-time placer in the Mat Classic at the Tacoma Dome. She competed at Northern Michigan University before moving on to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs in 2008 as part of the Army's World Class Athlete Program. Wrestling at 50 kilograms, 110 pounds, she was a 5-time U.S. World Team member and 6-time U.S. Open Freestyle champion. Whitney was an alternate for the 2016 U.S. Olympic team and a 2-time Pan American Games champion in 2015 and 2019. In 2019, Cox was the silver medalist at the World Military Games. She was also a military world silver medalist and a Pan American Games champion in 2018.
Good evening, everyone. I am beyond honored and excited to be inducted in the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame. My journey as an athlete had its fair share of uphill battles and hardships, but I am grateful for those moments because it allowed others to shine even brighter with their love, mentorship, and support, which brings me to today. I'd like to thank those that made this possible. First, I'd like to thank my family. My parents, they took me to all my competitions and practices, and without that, I wouldn't have got as far as I did. My brothers. They always beat me up in wrestling and at home. But if they didn't, I probably wouldn't have started the sport in the first place. And then lastly, I'd like to thank my coaches that I had. They not only allowed me to be their athlete, but they also supported my world and Olympic aspirations and gave me a great example as a coach that I'd like to be able to pass on to the athletes that I'm coaching today and in the future. Thank you, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. Have a wonderful evening.
Our area has been blessed with many dedicated, successful coaches who have earned induction into their State Coaching Association Hall of Fame, including Joe Reasons. But very few have been inducted into their National Organization Hall of Fame, as Reasons was in 2006. Reasons earned National Wrestling Coaches Hall of Fame status due to his tenure as head coach at Clover Park and Curtis. His teams compiled a record of 327, 88, and 1, winning 149 matches before his first dual meet loss. Reasons coached 16 state finalists and 7 state champions. He was the State Coach of the Year in 1977 and 1978 when Clover Park won state team championships. He coached the Washington State freestyle team to a national championship in 1979. Late in his retirement, he returned to coaching the North Mason High School wrestlers.
Joe loved working with young people. After retiring from a 36-year teaching career, but still needing a sense of purpose, he substituted at North Mason High School almost daily for another 18 years, and he made a positive impact wherever he worked. I believe the key to Joe's coaching success emerged from his personal philosophy: respect everyone, fear no one. That quality of respect became the solid core of his teaching and coaching. It led to a determination from his athletes that caused them to strive beyond what they even thought they could do. Joe and his assistants, Doug Cowan, Dan Hensley, and Kenny Pewitt, strove to make men out of boys. We were honored to see many of those men at Joe's memorial in January. Thank you for honoring him here tonight. Janet and Jody and I only wish he could have been here in person.
All right, let's hear it one more time for all those Hall of Famers. What a group. What a group. The McPhee boys from Bellarmine Prep are in the house. We got any Bellarmine Prep alum out there? A few. Good, good, good. Best running back from Tacoma's here. We got great golfers. Michael Putnam, are you kidding me? And the Wooding sisters. I mean, these are some of the best golfers to ever come out of this area. Now, I would say this. I would love it one day if the golfers would just say it how it is. Give Parkland putters a little respect. We never hear a golfer say, I'd like to thank Parkland putters for making me a better putter. Because if you can knock that in on the 18th hole and win that little trophy, I mean, that takes your game to another level. Whitney Condra Cox. Had the pleasure to do several stories on her, and this is the great thing I love about storytelling. Whitney Condra, it said in the video, 2016 alternate to the Rio Olympics. I went to the Rio Olympics. I followed Whitney a lot. Let me put this in perspective for you. Whitney was an alternate. She lost a very tough battle at the U.S. Olympic trials to get to the Rio Olympics. USA Wrestling only takes one wrestler per weight class. One. The girl that she lost to in a tough battle went to Rio and destroyed everyone. So really, Whitney Condra that year was one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. But that's not my favorite story about Whitney. My favorite story about Whitney is a story, I think it was her mom or dad. Her dad is here tonight, shared with me when Whitney was wrestling in high school. And her mom, I believe, Dad's going to correct me if I'm wrong with the story, was in the stands, and she's sitting next to this dad, and the boy comes up into the stands and says, Dad, I'm wrestling a girl. It's like, oh, son, if you pin her, I'll give you $10. And he goes, hang on, son. If you pin her and make her cry, I'll give you $20. So, Whitney pins this young man in less than 10 seconds. The young man starts crying on the mat and runs off. Whitney comes to the stands to see her parents. How'd I do? How'd I do? Well, ask this guy here. He owes you $20. Pretty fun stuff. Maybe I stretched the truth a little bit, Whitney. I don't know. You can talk about it. But presenting tonight, Sandy Vindovich Snyder is here, 1982 Mount Tacoma High School graduate. Go T-Birds. T-Birds are in the house. Sandy's ready to rock. Her brother Mike is being honored this evening. I hear he's sick though tonight, right? So you'll be accepting the award. You'll be handing out awards and accepting Mike's award as well. Sandy is passionate about the Relay for Life program in our community and works for one of this evening's big sponsors, Commencement Bake. So thank you so much for all your help with this big night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. After tonight, once you walk through this stage, you no longer sign your autograph, just your name. You follow with HOF, Hall of Fame. And when you get into the Hall of Fame, I'll have the pleasure to go to Cooperstown in July for Ichiro. I was there for Edgar. And when they sign, once you get inducted in the Hall of Fame, you no longer just sign your name. You have to put HOF next to your name because you are now all in the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to now welcome our new Hall of Fame class. Let us now bring to the stage Nick Hagedorn. We're going to get pictures here. And you're going to get grilled by the reporter. And Nick, we're going to keep you here, but Nick, come right over here. One of the best arms of baseball right here. Nick, how special is tonight?
Well, this came as such a big surprise. It's just a huge honor to be with this amazing group.
One word of advice for all those parents out there of maybe young baseball players or softball players.
Just enjoy the ride. It goes really fast.
Okay, let's hear it for Nick, everyone. All right, Nick, hang right here. All right, let's bring up Bryce McPhee first. And let's bring up Jim McPhee as well. The brothers travel together. Go Zags. All right, let's get some pictures here. You're going to be in a lot of Facebook posts tonight, by the way. I got to ask the question nobody's asked, so both of you get here. Come on up front stage, both you two. One-on-one backyard overall record.
We didn't really play one-on-one. I'm 5.5 years older, so.
Somewhere along the way, you guys had to play one-on-one.
Did we ever?
He injured his knee in the last game of his college career, so right about the age that I would have been able to compete, he couldn't anymore, so I avoided a lot of bloodbaths.
You gotta expect that. How special is this here for the family to be up here? Well, you know, you guys represented Pierce County your entire life. How cool is this tonight?
Oh, it's really special. It's just share the stage with him. It's just a dream come true, really.
Yeah, same here. It's hard to articulate. I just thank you so much.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the Hall of Fame. Honor to bring him on up. Ladies and gentlemen, broadcaster Ed Womack. You're looking good, Ed. You don't even have makeup on, and I have makeup on tonight.
I'm only 90 years old. Give me a break.
Hey, how good does he look for 90 years of age right here? Get some pictures, Ed. Ed, you've seen some pretty amazing athletes through the years. What do you think about tonight?
Well, it's a wonderful night, a wonderful night. I need to tell you a story about Dick Hanula. Dick Hanula came to teach at Lincoln High School at the age 22, and I was a junior at Lincoln in 1952. So tonight, Dick's 96 and I'm 90, and so he has one of the older former students in the history of the high school.
Right here tonight. How about that? And I got to ask, Dick's 96, he looks great. You're 90, you look good. I mean, help me out. What should I do? Maybe I'm going too much to Frisco Freeze every night. Help me out. What's your key?
My key is I married Catherine Brodnicki Bowman in 1969. So she's been my wife for 56 years, and she keeps me going.
All right, well done, well done. Smart man. All right, Sandy, we are going to have you receive the award for your brother Mike, so I'm going to have you say something about Mike, who couldn't be here tonight. I'm going to get you up here, Sandy, putting the pressure on you here. Talk a little bit about your brother.
Well, I'm a slightly younger sister and biggest fan. And back when he was on the field playing football, I was a cheerleader for Mount Tacoma. Once again, go T-Birds. He was actually nominated to be in the Hall of Fame 5 years ago, but he wouldn't accept the nomination. He goes, no, it's not about me, it's about my team. So he would not go in unless his team got in the Hall of Fame first, and that's the kind of person my brother is. He's a humble, wonderful man, proud to be his sister.
Wow, very cool, very cool. Thank you. Do you still know some T-Bird cheers, by the way? Okay, all right. All right, when I was heading to this event, I had my 13-year-old son look at the auction items, and he says, Dad, give me the Michael Putnam golf lesson. I said, all right, no pressure, but then I'm working on audio, so I'm not positive if I got it or not. So, but that just tells you the power of this man right here. He's got a 13-year-old in Puyallup that watched him golf a lot. He's one of the greatest golfers of all time. Let's welcome to the stage Michael Putnam, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Michael, how are you? What does this mean here tonight for you? You've won a lot of awards, but this is pretty cool representing your hometown.
Yeah, it's a neat to be, getting an award from our hometown people, because that's sometimes the hardest award to get. So it's super special to be recognized by Pierce County and all the local golf fans here and the athletic fans.
Toughest golf course in Pierce County?
Toughest course in Pierce County? Oof. I mean, Chambers Bay during the U.S. Open. Yeah, it was tough. But they don't play those tees anymore. Those are like 8,000 yards. Yeah.
Parkland putters, how have you done there?
I've had a share of good memories of Parkland putters. Yes. Many hole-in-ones.
See, I knew it. All right, let's hear it, everyone, for Michael Bundle. I learned lessons with Michael Bundle. Thank goodness, I'll pay. Yeah. Let me finish this, Colleen, and I'll bring you my Visa card. Okay, all right. Our next two recipients are the Williams sisters, Audrey and Michelle. Unfortunately, some recent family circumstances prevented them from being able to attend, so we extend our congrats and wish them well. Accepting on their behalf is their golf coach at Bellarmine Prep. This man is everywhere. Ed Pluve, come on up on stage, Ed. And Ed, I want you to say something about these two.
Well, they were really easy to coach because they were pretty good. And if you ever saw them play and you saw me play, copy their swings, not mine. But they did want to give their regrets for not being here. Michelle's in New York, Audrey's in Bozeman, Montana. That's where they live, and taking care of in-laws and mom and so on and so forth. So they've been very, very busy lately. So they wanted to make sure that they had a big thank you out to the group.
Well, thank you for being here for them tonight. Thank you. Well done, Ed. All right, let's welcome to the stage Myron Schmidt. You are heading to the Hall of Fame, my friend. Myron, the greatest handball player to ever come out of the state of Washington, joining us on stage right now. Can I say that, Myron?
Was.
You're going to have your son speak for you. Okay. I'm going to come over here. So hi to Lou. I know it. Tell me a little bit about this man right here.
He's a wonderful individual that everybody here ought to hope that they could meet, greet, and be a son to. But only one gets to do that, me.
Did you ever watch him play?
He's really mad at you.
What did I do?
He's like, because Mark said no speaking.
Mark did say that, but you know what? We were moving the program around so good tonight that I thought I'd do an audible on Mark and throw some speaking in there, you know?
Yeah, but you're the only one up here really wanting to speak, right?
Well, true, but that's what great reporters do, is they find a way to get you to speak, right? But you're the only one that didn't accept the interview. But you know what? That doesn't stop me from inducting you into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. All right, let's welcome to the stage now Chemo Streeter, Wally Streeter are going into the Hall of Fame. Accepting for his father is Chemo, so let's welcome Chemo to the stage. Chemo, real quickly, what does this night mean to you as you look out there and see all these incredible people?
It's great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, buddy. Well done, and welcome to the Hall of Fame. Wally. Okay, I didn't know Wally was coming. Did I? But Wally is he? He's not. You're accepting for Wally. Okay, well, come on up. Okay, all right. Your son, Bill.
It's his granddaughter.
Okay. Come on out. Don't be shy. Kim, tell me a little bit about this man.
Well, he influenced Chemo and I both to go into swimming coaching, and each one of us coached for over 20 years, so I think he had a pretty big influence on it.
I think he did, yeah. Any thoughts over here?
Well, it wasn't just those two. Both my brother and I have also coached. So keeps going down the line.
Carrying on the tradition, and now he's headed to the Hall of Fame. Thank you two very much. Well done. Well done. All right. Time to bring to the stage, and I've had the pleasure to work with this man many times doing King 5 Sports Prep Zones, and he brings so much spirit on the track, and he's been an amazing man at Lakes High School over the years. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, Willie Stewart, Jr. I know Willie will talk. Willie, what does this mean tonight?
Oh, it's a great honor to get this award and have all these Lakes Lancers in the place today. So students and former athletes and former coaches and ADs, so it's nice.
Go Lancers, huh?
Go Lancers.
You know any Lancer cheers? That's all right, Willie. All right. Well, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Now we're only going to get T-Bird cheers tonight. All right. So proud of this next Hall of Fame. I remember watching her at Emerald Ridge back in the day. They just had a dynamite volleyball team back then. We did a prep zone on them, and now she's headed to the Hall of Fame. Jessica Brody Hansen. Jessica, congratulations. What does this mean tonight to be here, to be now inducted in the Hall of Fame?
A great honor. There are a ton of familiar faces in the crowd. Teammates of mine, my family, of course, and a lot of girls actually that I've coached along the way. So congratulations to everybody tonight.
A lot of volleyball out here tonight. This is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, including my daughter too, who I coach, and her best friend are back there too.
Well, give her a shout. What's her name?
Corbin.
Corbin, where does she play?
Emerald Ridge.
Emerald Ridge. A lot of Emerald Ridge running outs tonight. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. All right. All right. Officially heading into the Hall of Fame, wrestler Whitney Condor Cox. Whitney, get a picture. I haven't seen you for a while. You're married. You got 2 kids now, right? Is what I've heard. Was the story accurate that I shared?
Actually, it was my mom that asked for the $20.
Your mom wanted the $20.
She tapped the father on the shoulder and said, I'll take that $20, please. My daughter just pinned your son and made him cry. And he's like, oh, that was your daughter? I am so sorry.
You have been around the world representing the United States of America with wrestling. Here, this is a night where we represent Pierce County. You were a trailblazer. Women's wrestling, I think, has become one of the most popular sports in the state of Washington. And you were there having to wrestle against the guys and kind of pave the way. What does that mean when you now look at girls wrestling in the state of Washington, where it's at right now?
It's just amazing to see because I looked at the numbers just not too long ago, and it was over like 75,000 wrestlers. And not only that, like you look at the Olympics, it was looked at being taken out. And then women's wrestling was added in and added more weights, and it got even better, and it's continuing just because of it.
75,000 wrestlers now, and when you were wrestling, there was 1 or 2?
I was the only on my high school team, but now most of the high schools within the area have full women's teams.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hall of Fame, Whitney Condor Cox. All right, last but not least, speaking of wrestling, one of the greatest wrestling coaches of all time, Joe Reasons. Accepting on behalf of Joe is his wife, Joe, and daughters, Janet and Jody. Ladies and gentlemen, heading to the Hall of Fame, Joe Reasons. Okay, tell me about him as a coach. What made him so special?
I just think he believed in his young people so much. He thought they could do anything they set their minds to, and he lived by never die, never die. And he just had a very special way of motivating young people. And I'm sorry he isn't here tonight. He would have been thrilled.
How special was he as a dad and as a coach?
It's just an amazingly inspirational person.
you hit the nail on the head. Just someone that really knew how to motivate people in any endeavor. So,
growing up with my dad, you didn't have the chance to be mediocre, so it was awesome having him as a father. And I think that's what he gave to his wrestlers and his athletes throughout the years.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame, Joe Reasons, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have you guys head on over here. Let's bring on up all the Hall of Fame members. And come on up close so we can get some pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the class of 2025, Tacoma Athletic Commission Hall of Fame. Let's give it up for all of them right here, everyone. Oh, we can be louder than that. Come on, let it hear. Let it hear. Well, that concludes another great tribute to champions. And in closing, I want to acknowledge the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Museum, the Tacoma Athletic Commission, and our title sponsor, Conley Law Offices, and the rest of our sponsors who are displayed on the screen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Two final reminders. Do not forget to pick up your auction items on the way out. Also, there are complimentary copies of Playground to the Pros. I've been told you can grab one for yourself. You can grab 2 or 3. If you know somebody that wasn't here and you want to give them the book, you can do that. And again, congrats to all of our recipients tonight. And a big thank you to each and every one of you for joining us tonight and your continued support of Tacoma and Pierce County. Thank you all one last time. It has been a pleasure.